Hello friends, today I'm going to discuss goal setting. I would like to quote Benjamin Mays here, who once said, "The tragedy of life doesn't lie in not reaching your goal. The tragedy lies in having no goals to reach." So friends, goals are very important in our lives because they motivate us to achieve something that would satisfy us, that would uh, give us a good feeling of fulfillment, satisfaction, and also contentedness. So, what is goal setting? Goal setting is a powerful process for personal planning. It is a process where you decide how do you want to achieve something that will actually make you satisfied as well as content. Friends, as you might have already observed that in everyone's life, uh, there are different important parts that play a very vital role. For example, we all dedicate our time to different aspects of our life. These aspects include career, community, society, education, family, finances, that means earning, leisure, uh, physical fitness, and spirituality. So, all these aspects of our life are really important, of course, because if we, say, for example, miss or gloss over on any one of these aspects of our life, we might not feel fulfilling. We might not feel satisfied because all these are important and integrated parts of our life. Okay, so because all these are important parts of our life, I believe we need to actually set at least one goal for each of these aspects. For example, we should have at least one goal with respect to our career. We should have another goal with respect to our physical fitness, so on and so forth. So, uh, next, I'm going to discuss what your goals should look like. They should actually look like, a smart person, maybe. They should be smart in general. If you would like to ask me in one word how I would like to see my goals, I would answer that I would like to see my goals as smart goals. So, smart means, of course, like good looking, but that's not the only meaning here for this particular terminology smart that I'm using. But smart actually means specific, measurable, attainable, or actionable, relevant, and time bound. So, with respect to this, I would like to show you two videos, of course, one at a time. So, enjoy these videos. Kindly bear with me for a second.
Yeah, somebody please try to stop me. Yeah, somebody please try to stop me.
Can I give you a hand?
Oh, thank you so much.
You're right, do you want a hand?
Yes.
Hey kings and queens, I'm sure most of you have dreams, but in order to make them come true, dreaming is usually not enough. There is a great method called SMART, which helps you set goals wiser and transform your dreams into concrete goals. Instead of being far away, your dreams become achievable. SMART criteria means specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Specific. You should know exactly what you want. Not kind of, not almost, but exactly. Vague goals are much harder to achieve, so you need to define them as clearly as you can. This way you will know what you need to do in order to get what you want. But if your goal is vague, you will be confused. I want to be rich. That's not well defined. Instead, say I want to earn $8,000 per month with my online business and own a house which I will rent for $1,000 a month. You can be even more specific than that and write down more details. Measurable. How would you know if you achieved your goal? Think of ways to measure your progress. Break your larger goals into smaller ones so you can know whenever you accomplish something. I want to be a singer. That's not measurable. What defines a singer? Who decides what makes someone a singer, and how can you know if you become one? Some ways to measure your progress towards this dream can be writing a song, releasing an album, performing in front of an audience, or getting paid to perform. One side note, the fact that you make music and do what you love is already a huge success. Attainable. I've gotta say something about this one. I'm in favor of dreaming big and aiming high. My dreams are far beyond the sky. After all, everything is impossible before it happens. People used to think that everything that can be invented has been invented, but new things are still being invented day after day, and yet you need to feel the progress. You need to see that you accomplished things along the way. Your dreams can be as crazy as you want, but set sub-goals that will push you to keep going. Focus more on what's in your control and less on the final result. For example, instead of "I want that there will be no more poverty in the world," focus on people you want to help to, events you want to organize, donation you can collect, a charity organization you can establish, and so on. Relevant. Why do you do what you do? Does it help you move towards your goal? Make sure that the actions you take are relevant. I want $150,000 a year. Okay, but for what? So I can have a financial freedom. So I can save up enough money for retirement. So I can donate and help people. Know the answer for why you want what you want and think if the steps you take are relevant and really push you forward. Time-bound. If you don't set deadlines, you have unlimited time to achieve your goals and you lose focus. Once you set a schedule or a deadline, you become committed. That's why many people become super productive or finish their tasks at the last minute. I want to have 10,000 subscribers. Okay, I can have them 20 years from now. So one of my goals is, I want to have 10,000 subscribers before November. Now that I have a deadline, I can see what actions I can take in order to achieve that. Upload more frequently, collaborate with other YouTubers, advertise my channel, and many other options. So like I said before, don't use it the wrong way of dreaming small or only desire things that seem achievable. On the contrary, think outside of the box and don't be afraid to dream big. The SMART criteria is a great tool that can help you focus and be practical. Thank you for watching. I invite you to join Freedom Kingdom. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified about my future videos. New and exciting things are coming soon, so stay around. See you next time.
Thank you guys. Kindly bear with me for another second.
Hi, my name
Come to Endeavour College of Natural Health's Open Day to discover
If you want to succeed, you need to set goals. Without them, you lack focus and direction. They also provide you with a benchmark to determine whether or not you are actually succeeding at them. We all struggle sometimes to achieve our plans, and it's not that we lack the effort, but our goals are not structured efficiently. To accomplish your objective, you need to know how to set it up properly. You can't simply say, "I wish I could make more money," and expect it to happen. A goal without a plan is just a wish. It is also important to recognize that not all objectives are created equal. So today I'll explain the SMART method of goal setting and how it will amplify your chances of actually succeeding. Let's get started. S stands for specific. We all have plenty of dreams and goals, but most of them are all generalized and vague, so we don't really know how to achieve them. Your goal must be clear and well defined. You can only get to where you want by defining precisely how you will get there. For example, let's take a look at this generalized wish. I want to be healthier, or I want to have a better body. What does all of this even mean? It's super vague and not specific enough. A better example would be, I'll replace drinking soda with water. I'll also be going to the gym 3 times a week for 45 minutes. You could be even more specific. 3 times per week could mean every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Every time at 3 p.m. Make it as specific as possible so you know what exactly you're going to be focusing on. M stands for measurable. Tracking the progress of your goal is an important part of keeping you motivated. It allows you to set milestones that you can celebrate when you achieve them and reevaluate when you don't. If your goal is simply defined as lose weight, how will you know when you have been successful? You need to define exactly how much weight you want to lose. A much better goal would be, I want to lose 10 pounds. This way you have something to aim for and you can even set smaller milestones along the way. Basically, you break that big objective into other smaller objectives. So if you think that 10 pounds is too much, you should break it down into manageable pieces. First aim for 3 pounds, then another 3, all the way up to 10. It's the progress that keeps us motivated, so if you don't have a way to measure it, you will fail with your ambition. A stands for attainable. Make sure that it's possible to achieve the dreams you set for yourself. Far too many people fall into the trap of setting impossible goals. While they may push you forward for a while, you will almost certainly end up giving up on them. Instead of being impossible, your goals should be challenging yet achievable. There's nothing wrong with shooting for the stars, as you might end up at the moon. However, unless you want to burn out, it's much more efficient to take small steps. For example, making $1 million by the end of the month is impossible if you can't even pay your bills. A much more attainable goal would be making extra $100 by the end of the month. Once you have achieved that, you can go a step further and try making extra $200. You don't want to set yourself up for failure by trying to go far beyond the bounds of possibility. It will only make you miserable. R stands for relevant. Your plans should be relevant to the direction you want your life and career to take. A common issue we face is having too many goals at the same time, or pursuing the wrong goals. Unless your plan is relevant to your overall life plan, achieving it may not accomplish anything. So if you look at my example, I wanted to learn French because I loved the way it sounded. However, I realized that learning the language would be completely useless for me. I barely know anyone that speaks French and I don't really need to use it anywhere. So I stopped learning it as it was taking too much of my time while I was getting nothing out of it. Becoming fluent in French would be nice, but it is currently not relevant to my overall life plan. So ask yourself why you want to achieve your goal before you commit to it. T stands for time-bound. This is one of the most important factors. Your plans must have a deadline. If you don't set a time limit, you have basically unlimited time to achieve your goals. When you are working on a deadline, your sense of urgency increases and you're more likely to achieve your goal. Think of your time in school. You had a whole month to write an essay, and yet it was done in the last 2 days. It's because the deadline was right around the corner, so you had no choice but to do it. So whenever you set a goal, keep a time limit in mind as it will push you to actually work on it. Now you know how to set smart goals. But there's one last thing. Most people think that goal setting is a one-time event. Like you set your goals once and you're done. However, it's actually an ongoing process. It never ends. Your plans will need evaluation and revision, so it's important to stay flexible. Thanks for watching. Do you have any dreams or goals that you're currently working on? I, for example, have a goal to run a marathon in the next 6 months. So let me know what you're working towards in the comments below. Together we'll become better than yesterday.
So guys, I hope you liked both the videos, and these videos have given you good insights on smart goals, setting smart goals in general. Now I would like to cover 4 Ds to your personal goals. Now, these 4 Ds means desire. You need to or want to achieve something. You have to have a desire, a feeling from the within to, have something, to be something, to do something. Okay. The second D is direction, stands for direction. Goals are actually a very important part of your life, as I mentioned before. So how do you want to achieve them? That is very important. So the direction of achieving your goals is pivotal, and you need to remember this D as well. The third D stands for discipline. You need to develop habits, that means actions, in order to achieve your set goals. And the last D stands for determination. Your attitude, your positive attitude towards the set goal should be helpful for you to achieve it. Okay, so these 4 Ds are really helpful for you if you use them smartly and nicely in order to achieve your set goals. So remember, 4 Ds stand for desire, direction, discipline, and determination. Now, there are a few key questions that you need to ask in order to set your goals. Okay. Here, I would like to quote Lou Holtz, who once said, "If you're bored with life, you don't get up every morning with a burning desire to do things. You don't have enough goals. That means you actually tend to be lethargic and you do not get what to do. You do not have any aim to achieve. So what happens is you just don't get the desire, the burning desire, strong desire to get up in the morning because you don't have anything to do on that particular day. So that's the reason you need to ask yourself whether you have some goals to achieve. And if you have goals, then these goals should give you positive motivation to get up in the morning and work towards that particular goal. So I just wanted to quote this because it's really helpful, I believe, for you to understand the importance of goal setting. Now, the key questions while setting your goals you need to ask to yourself are, the first one is what do I want to do? Second one is what do I want to have? Where do I want to go? What contribution do I want to make? What do I want to learn? Who do I want to meet and spend my life with? How much do I want to earn, save, and invest? What will I do for fun and optimum health? So these are key questions that you need to ask based on, of course, what aspect of your life you want to set your goal for. For example, if I would like to refer the question here, what do I want to learn? It actually refers to the education aspect of your life. Okay, or say, where do I want to go? That aspect, that question, sorry, refers to the aspect of leisure, you can say, of your life. Travel, leisure, spending, like free time, holidays, etc. That aspect of your life, if you would like to set a goal for, then in that case, you need to ask this question, where do I want to go, for example. Okay. So I hope you have understood these key questions. Here I would like to show you another video. I hope you will enjoy this video as well. Just a moment, please. Thank you.
How do you learn a subject or skill in half the time?
Articles on goal setting before. When it comes to chasing our dreams, The only way I know to track our progress is to create milestones. Milestones show us what we are accomplishing and allow us to see how we accomplish even more. If you have stopped to read any of the statistics or articles on goal setting before, you will have read two things. 1. People without goals are not as successful as they hope to be. 2. People who don't write down goals are less likely to accomplish them. What I have found over the last 10 years of dream chasing is how important goals are in the grand picture of seeing your dreams come true. Goals give us momentum to push through adversity we experience while chasing our dreams. This year, there was a huge push not to set goals. People were sharing about how terrible they felt last year when they failed to meet their goals, or how they never really followed through with achieving them. So, should we even set goals to try to see our dreams come true? Yes! The problem for so many people is that they haven't created goals which will help them succeed, and their inability to follow through because of fear or poor goal creation holds them back. This was me about 10 years ago. I would set goals at the beginning of the year and then never go back and look at them. I would have these really vague, general ideas of things I wanted to accomplish, but never create action steps or any plans to achieve anything. This is why goals fail. You have probably heard of the SMART goal system. This is a great system. In fact, when I finally got tired of never accomplishing my goals, I learnt about it and started to see some of my goals achieved. And then I learnt about the ER in goal setting. Let's start putting some goals together using the SMARTer system. Specific. Sounds pretty simple, right? Just write something down that is specific. The question is, how specific do I need to be? The answer? The more specific you are, the easier it will be to quantify your results along the way. For example, if you want to lose weight, to be more specific, how much weight do you want to lose? Better yet, what weight would you like to be at the end of pursuing your goal? A specific goal says this: I will weigh 200 pounds. We want to quantify our goals. To make a goal measurable, we need to be able to see progress over time. Say your goal is to write a novel. How do we make it measurable? You will need to make it very specific and measurable by going into more detail which you can track. A specific goal for writing a novel is, I will complete writing a 50,000 word novel. Every goal should be actionable in terms of getting somewhere. However, when writing goals, we are talking about writing it as an action. A goal is actionable when it is immediately clear what action needs to be taken to accomplish it. A simple way to make items actionable is to begin them with a verb. So, try this. I will read 24 books. The R in the equation is relevant or relatable. Is your goal relevant or relatable to your life? When you are setting goals, this is the pragmatic look at what you want to do. When you set a goal, you need to think about your current situation. Some people will tell you to make a 10 times goal. Create a goal that is nearly impossible to force you to stretch yourself. While I think this is good, it's not for the first timer or for someone struggling at their goals. You need to create goals you can accomplish at your stage in life. Are you a father of 3 small children who works 2 jobs? You may not be able to work out 3 hours a day if you want to reach 3% body fat. Try this. I will decrease my percentage body fat by 10%. My start percent is X. Every goal needs a deadline. Why? So you are forced to take action in a certain time frame. Simply saying you will do something isn't good enough. You need to say when you will complete it. This way, you will need to map your path to success. Otherwise, you will always have the goal, but never have the urgency to accomplish it. Going back to the novel example, I will write a 50,000 word novel by December the 31st. Evaluate. This is where the rubber meets the road when it comes to your goals. We need to regularly evaluate our progress. When I ask people how often they looked at their goals, they say a few times over the year. This is why people fail at their goals. I evaluate my goals every month, and every week I read them. This helps me to remember what I am trying to do and make sure I take action every week. If there is anything you do differently about your goals, this needs to be it. Reward. Every goal and milestone needs a reward. We love getting something for a job well done. And when we are working towards our dreams, these little earned items help us to celebrate our milestones and be ready for the next step. Here is an example of a reward for paying off debt. Pay off debt by December the 31st. Buy one thing for $100 you would never buy for yourself. You may have really struggled with goals before, and if you're like me, you might have even failed all of the goals you set yourself in a year. But this doesn't have to be true of you anymore. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. C.S. Lewis. I love this quote because it reminds me how the goals we set for ourselves now, no matter our age or station in life, will help us change our story in the end. They will help us chase our dreams and see them come true.
So friends, I hope you have liked this video as well, wherein the presenter has suggested two more dimensions to SMART goal setting, of course. So now you know how we can set smarter goals. I hope so, and I also hope and wish that you would use the tips given in the video for setting your own personal goals. So let's move forward now. Now, with respect to taking actions regarding the goals that you have set for yourself, you need to remember there are 4 recommended steps that you should be taking. But before that, I would like to quote David Joseph Schwartz, who once said that think little goals and expect little achievements, think big goals and build big success. So depending upon the size of your goal that you have set, you need to decide your action steps to achieve those goals. So the first 2 steps I would like to mention here. In the beginning, you need to decide for yourself what makes you truly happy and then organize your life around it in order to achieve your goal. Then you have to determine your true values. What do you believe in and stand for? And after that, you need to commit yourself to living your life consistent with your values and write down your goals and then make plans to achieve them. Okay? So in general, this is an action plan for setting your goals in order to understand your own self first. That means what things make you happy. You need to realize that, and you need to organize your life around those things that make you happy. Then you have to also understand or realize by introspecting maybe that what determines your true values, what are your true values, what you actually believe in, and what you truly stand for. Once you determine your own values, then you can commit yourself, you can promise yourself that you will live your life uh, uh, by considering your values that you have realized by introspecting yourself. And then after these 3 steps, you have to write down your goals in order to make plans to achieve them. So goal setting and achievement in this particular part of the session, we will be covering characteristics of goals, where goal setting can go wrong, and why to break down goals. So these are the 3 aspects we'll be covering now. Characteristics of goals. With respect to this, there are 6 to 8 characteristics your goal should have. The first characteristic of your goal should be realistic. That means, as it was mentioned in one of the videos as well, if you would like to achieve something in very short time, then it might not be realistic. For example, if you would like to win a marathon, which is scheduled after 2 weeks, and if you say today that for next 2 weeks I'll be, going for rigorous training and win that marathon, which is scheduled after 2 weeks, then it is perhaps not possible. It is highly likely that you will not be winning that marathon because 2 weeks is a very short time. So it's an unrealistic goal. So instead, what you can do, you can use what you have accomplished in the past to set a reasonable goal for the future. Based on your experience in the past of participating in a marathon, you might have already understood that how long generally it takes for you to, get used to a particular exercise maybe. For example, in this case, of course, you have to run. So you would perhaps realize based on your previous experience that it might take around 2 months or say maybe more than 2 months training for you to like win a short marathon. And if the marathon which is scheduled after 2 weeks is a longer one, I mean the the length of the running is quite uh, long, then of course you need to decide your goal accordingly. So the key is while realizing whether your goal is realistic or not, you need to check whether your experience in the past give you some kind of guidance, and based on that you need to decide a realistic goal that can be achievable within that particular uh, like uh, like time that you have set for yourself, or that you need to achieve in order to like succeed in that particular goal achievement. Now, the second characteristic of goal should be it should be definitely self-chosen. That means you are much more likely to achieve a goal that you set for yourself than one that has been set for you by someone else. So you have to decide what goal you would like to set for yourself, because you know your own likings, you know your own, say, areas of improvements, you know based on your experience how long something takes you to achieve. So based on your own wish and experience and likings and many other factors, your goal should be um, uh, you know uh, relevant to your like choices. So it should be self-chosen. The next characteristic of a goal should be it should be moderately difficult. That means, say, a goal that is too hard or too easy, it will decrease your motivation to achieve it. So just try to ensure that it is not too easy, as well as it is not too difficult. So it should be neither too easy nor too difficult. The fourth characteristic of goals should be getting an A, for example, in a math exam, and a B in a geography exam is much more specific, for example, than just saying that I will get good grades this semester in maths and geography. So, friends, it's like very important for you to realize the thing that,
Hi there, I'm Sophie Howard.
your goals are quite specific with respect to the characteristics it should have. So I go to that particular characteristic. Measurable. In one or two videos, you might have already seen this particular characteristic. Measurable means what? You should be able to, like count it. In a sense, you need to know how much you need to achieve. You need to know the milestone for that. Say, for example, you are more likely to keep up if you can see progress towards your goal. For example, getting an A grade on your midterm is measurable progress toward getting an A in the class. Okay, so please ensure that your goal is measurable. You are able to count it, and you are able to ensure that based on that particular achievement, short-term achievement, your long-term achievement can be accomplishable. Okay. The next characteristic, the sixth characteristic of a goal should be positiveness of the goal. Your goal should be positive. That means, say for example, what you do has to be with a positive tone. Say for example, I will attend all classes is much better than I won't skip any classes. Both mean similar thing at the end, but if you say it in a positive way, if you do not use negative terms, they sound better and they will give you that positive motivation to accomplish the goal that you set for yourself. So it should be positive. It should also be flexible. Say for example, if it looks like you can't reach your original goal, you can be a little bit flexible and redraw your plan. Also, it should be associated with your deadline, so time bound, as you might related to the previous videos that I've shown to you. So when do you plan on accomplishing this goal? In a month, in a day, or in a year? You need to know that. It should be there should be a deadline. It should be time bound, and you should write down your goal. So it will serve as a better reminder to keep you motivated if you write it and refer to it frequently in order to work on achieving your goal. So now we will discuss where goal setting can go wrong. There are, three what you can say situations wherein your goal setting may go wrong. One of these is when you're disorganized, when you have not organized things in order to achieve your goal in a smooth and nice way. That time it can go wrong. For example, you need to keep your personal and academic goals separate. As you might recall, that we have seen there are different aspects of a life. And you need to have at least one goal for yourself. As you might recall, I have mentioned that. So in order to achieving those goals, you need to ensure that all those goals of all your aspects of life are separate from each other. Okay. Of course, at the end, they might be integrated in order to achieve a very nice comfort in your life. That is there, that is given, of course. However, please ensure that your goals of two different aspects of your life are different. Okay, they are separate, so that they are not intermingled um, uh, drastically or in a major way, you can say. So this is one of the things you need to remember. You need to be very organized. It should not be disorganized. Your goal setting should not be disorganized. I repeat, it should be organized. That means you should keep your goals of different aspects of your life separate. The second situation wherein your goal setting may go wrong is setting unrealistic goals. For example, becoming a company CEO immediately after your graduation is a little bit unrealistic, I believe. It's not a little bit, I think it's very, very unrealistic, as you might also agree to me. Unless you're starting your own company and you become the chief executive officer of that company. But to become a chief executive officer of an established company is of course very, very, very difficult. It's of course next to impossible, especially when you have just completed your graduation. Okay, so referring to this example, I repeat here that your goals should be realistic, they shouldn't be unrealistic. The third situation where your goal setting may wrong is goes beyond your reach or beyond your control in general. For example, winning the lottery is definitely beyond your control. If you say that within next 2 months, I need to win a lottery of $1 million, then it's not a smart goal. It's actually an impossible goal because when it comes to lottery, it's all about luck. Okay, which is of course beyond the scope of our today's session. So we'll not discuss about it in detail. But the point that I want to discuss over here is if you set a goal for yourself regarding winning a lottery, it is actually not a smart goal or a smarter goal because winning the lottery is not in your control. Okay, so please remember there are three situations wherein your goal setting may go wrong, and these situations are setting disorganized goals, unrealistic goals, and setting goals that are beyond your control. So please try to avoid these situations while setting your goals. There are two more situations where your goal setting can also go wrong. One of these situations is if your goal is vague, if your goals are vague, that means they are not specific. We have discussed enough through videos that you have to be specific with respect to your goals. So, for example, becoming successful is quite vague. Also, if you say becoming a better student is also a vague term that you're using when setting a goal for yourself because they're not clear. And if the goals are not clear, you are not motivated to perhaps achieve them. Okay, you do not try to achieve them if you do not decide specific goals. Okay, so please be specific, do not be vague. So this is the fourth situation wherein your goal setting can go wrong. The fifth situation is when you set too many goals. So at a time, if you set many goals, that time also your goal setting can go wrong. So please remember, at a time you need to be focusing on one goal. Now the third important aspect that we need to discuss of achievement while achieving your goal is, or rather setting your goals is, you need to break your goals into small pieces. For example, if you have a lifelong goal, then what you need to do is you have to break your goals for, say, next few years. Say, for example, if your goal is to become the CEO of a company within 20 years, for example, then you need to break your goal into small goals of five years maybe. So after each 5 years, you want to achieve something better towards becoming a CEO. Okay, so say for example, if currently you're just a freshman in a company, register, just say for example, an assistant manager. Then after 5 years, you would like to become the senior manager. Then after 10 years, that means after 5 years of becoming a senior manager, you would like to become the head of department of sale. And then after 5 years, that means after 15 years, you would like to become the associate dean or whatever the positions are available in the company. For example, vice president of sales. And then after 5 years, that means overall 20 years, you would like to become the CEO of the company. So I hope you understood what I meant just now. You have to break your goal, for example, of becoming a CEO after 20 years into short parts. After each 5 years, you have to achieve a short goal that you set for yourself in order to achieve your final goal of becoming the CEO of the company where you're working currently. Okay, so I hope you have understood this point as well. You need to turn your dreams into goals. Once, Helmut Schmidt had said that whosoever wants to reach a distant goal must take small steps. As I mentioned before also, in order to achieve a big goal, you have to ensure that you break that particular goal into small parts in order to achieve that final goal. So one step at a time, achieving the small goal that you have set for yourself, and then at the end, ultimately achieving the big goal that you have set for your life. Okay? So with respect to dreaming, for achieving goals, you need to dream small initially maybe. So think like a sprinter, for example. That means a runner running with fast speed for small distance in small increments. If you if your eventual goal is the Olympics, that means winning the Olympics, state goals along that path. Improve, for example, you can say I will improve my 800 time by 1 second speed and achieve, faster speed within next 2 months. That can be a very specific goal that you can set for yourself. There would be another goal that you can set with respect to, going for Olympics and winning it. For example, you can say that, I would like to be a part of high school track team, wherein sprinters are allowed to, train themselves with the help of the coaches available in the school, sports coach available in the school. You can have short-term goals because they are the only reliable path. I repeat once again. So in order to achieve a big goal, you need to break down that goal into small and manageable, achievable milestones or short goals. Okay. You have to write down your goals. I have mentioned that before, even in the videos it was mentioned. You have to write down your goals for your own reminder. This makes it formal and gives notice to yourself and others that the work has officially begun, and it keeps your goals clear, and it also keeps you in focus in order to achieve those goals. You also have to be specific. I repeatedly saying this, I know, but I really want you to understand. You should not be vague, you have to be specific. If your goal is to get in shape, for example, and if currently you are a little bit healthy, in other words, you are a little bit obese, you can say, and your goal is to be in shape or get in shape, um, uh, you know, uh, what you need to do is you have to actually say, instead of saying that I want to get in shape, you can say within next 10 months, for example, I want to lose my weight by 60 say pounds. Now this is an over exaggerated example, I know, but something specific you need to be writing in order to ensure that your goal is a smarter goal. Okay, and you can be specific. You should be you shouldn't be vague. You have to ensure that you know what you want to achieve. Definitely. Okay. You also need to be realistic. We have mentioned this before also. It shouldn't be unrealistic. Your goal should not be unrealistic. You should not have unrealistic goals. You can accomplish most things you set out to do, but it will take time. You need to remember that. Don't shoot for something unattainable, unaccomplishable, completely outside of your nature or opportunity. So at least not right away. That means you should not be stubborn with respect to achieving your goals. You should ensure that there are several external factors that might control achievement of your goals. So you need to be realistic. You need to know yourself. You need to introspect. You need to know yourself. Find your inner feelings, your instincts, that the things that you are chasing for, you really want to chase for. Set goals based on what you really want. It should not happen that you're setting goals that others want you to achieve. You have to decide your own goals for yourself. You should not be assuming that goals are only the competitive areas of your life. There are other important steps that you need to take in order to lead a good life. So goals are not the only things that you need to achieve in your life. There are other things also which come randomly in your life, which you need to, of course, ensure that you are successfully defeating them if they are problems, or at least if they are not problems, that you need to take the opportunities and you need to try to achieve success over those random things, the challenges that comes to your way in your life, apart from setting goals and achieving those goals in your life. You can make goals for family, relationships, and anything. Okay, as you might have seen in those aspects of life that I have mentioned initially. Based on the aspects of your life, you need to set different goals for yourself. Here I would like to quote Ralph Waldo Emerson. He once said, "The world makes way for the man who knows where he is going." So you need to know where specifically you want to go, what specifically you would like to achieve, whether it's like realistic, whether it is time bound, whether it's smart, whether it is smarter, that you need to decide while setting your goal. Further, I would like to mention that please remember, one size does not fit all. That means if a goal worked for me, it does not mean that it will work for you. Okay, you need to remember that. So there are many people who succeed without having specific goals also. Okay, there are external factors that actually help them in achieve to be successful. Okay, so one size doesn't fit for all. Please remember that. Okay. Whether or not you set goals, you need clarity and passion to be successful. You need to remember that also. Some people are simply not suited to traditional goal setting models, like the steps that I have told you, for example. They might work for me, but they might not work for you. So please remember that these are just standard steps that people generally take. It might possible that they have worked for them, but they might not work for you, or the other way around. That means they might work for you, but they might not work for some other person who is close to you. For example, your other friend, okay, who would like to follow the steps that I have just recommended for setting goals. Okay? So please remember, some people simply are not suited for traditional goal setting models, and that's completely fine. So you need to decide a perfect way, a better way, not perfect way, but a better way of setting goals in your life. For sometimes failed goals reveal a lack of commitment. So you need to ensure that in order to achieve your goal, you need to be truly committed towards your goal. And failed goals also serve some purpose. And what kind of purpose? They actually give you some insights regarding being more alert with respect to setting next goals in the future. Okay, so failed goals are also helpful because they will give you that experience of avoiding things that you might have done, avoiding steps that you might have taken this time in order to achieve a particular goal that you set for yourself. Okay, here I would like to quote Fitzhugh Dodson, who said, "Without goals and plans to reach them, you are like a ship that has set sail with no destination. Okay, so you need to decide that you have a particular plan for yourself in order to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. Okay. There is one more thing that you need to remember. The point of discussing all this regarding one size does not fit all with respect to goal setting, that no one method works for everyone. However, there is a path out there for you. Keep challenging and fine-tuning the various approaches to goal setting, and you will find a system that will produce positive results for you. So, if one's method or model of goal setting does not work for you, it doesn't mean that the other will not work for you. You should keep on trying for the other one. If you at all fail in the first approach or model or whatever you call in order to set your goals and trying to achieve those goals, so please do not dishearten yourself. Do not get disheartened. Do not get uh, what you can say, sad about it. Just consider it as an experience for you, and try to explore other ways of setting goals and achieving those goals, okay, in a particular way that suits for you. Now, with respect to feedback regarding failure, I would like to mention here what may be reasons for failure. I just would like to list them for you. There might be three reasons generally that lead to failure. The first reason is that you didn't try hard enough in order to achieve your set goal. Yeah, you need to actually give your 100% if you set a goal in order to achieve it. If you do not try hard enough to achieve your goal, then of course you may not succeed in that. It's highly likely that you will not succeed, and it would be waste of resources that you use in order to try for achieving the goal. The other reason of failure is that your technique or skills or knowledge were faulty and need to be enhanced. So you also need to realize that sometimes your skill set is not enough in order to achieve a particular goal. So instead of getting disheartened, you need to work on first enhancing your skill set for achieving a relevant goal. Okay. There is third reason for failure. That is the goal you set was unrealistic, as we have mentioned before also. We had discussed before also. So there are three main reasons for failure, and you need to avoid them, at least try to avoid them in order to succeed as far as your goal setting is concerned. With respect to success, if the goal was easily achieved, you also need to remember that you need to make the next goal harder for you. Because if you just achieve some goal very quickly, you may not be taking your goals seriously. Because this time your goal is maybe a small goal, and next time the goal that you would like to achieve is a bigger goal. So depending upon the size of your goal, you need to also decide the easiness to achieve that particular goal. Try to have your goal at least moderately difficult for you, because that will motivate you to work hard towards it, and you will also get a feeling of satisfaction at the end of accomplishing that goal. Okay, so if the goal took this pirating length of time to achieve, make the next goal a little easier. So whenever you achieve a goal very quickly and easily, you need to remember that next goal should be moderately hard for you to achieve, so that you can get the motivation to achieve it. And in other case, if it has been a little bit difficult for you to achieve a goal, then please ensure that in order to be motivated, remain motivated, your next goal should be easier than the one you have just achieved. Okay. If you learned something that would lead you to change goals, still outstanding, do so. Okay. That means through process of achieving your goals, you gain many experiences. Sometimes you need to change your goal because while accomplishing something, you realize that whatever things you are doing, what steps you are taking are not perhaps the correct steps maybe. So in that case, you need to revisit your goal and you need to adjust your goal accordingly. So that's fine. Okay. If while achieving the goal you noticed a deficit in your skills, set goals to fix this. Okay. I repeat, I'm perhaps repeating this, but please ensure that if you realize while accomplishing your goal that you set for yourself that the skill set that you have is not enough in order to achieve the goal, you need to work on fixing that particular issue, and you need to enhance your skill set to achieve your goal successfully. So in general, I would like to summarize today's session. Goals with certain characteristics will enable you to be more successful in goal setting and achievement. Breaking down large goals into parts will help you to see what steps you will need to complete on the way to accomplishing your goal. So these are the two takeaways you can take from today's session. I hope you have liked the session. But before ending today's session, I would like to show you another video, and I hope you will like that video as well. Kindly bear with me for a second.
When you're looking for a reliable but cheap used car, start your search at thecarmart.com.au. The Car Mart has a car for everyone.
एक बार जब स्वामी विवेकानंद शिकागो में भाषण के लिए गए थे, तो वे वहीं सायंकाल भ्रमण कर रहे थे। तभी उन्होंने एक जगह से गुजरते हुए देखा कि कुछ लड़के पुल पर खड़े होकर नदी में तैर रहे अंडे के छिलकों पर निशाना लगा रहे थे, लेकिन उनमें से किसी भी लड़के का एक भी निशाना सही नहीं लग रहा था। यह देखकर उन्होंने एक लड़के से बंदूक ली और खुद निशाना लगाने लगे। उन्होंने पहला निशाना लगाया और वो बिल्कुल सही लगा। फिर एक के बाद एक उन्होंने कुल 12 निशाने लगाए और सभी बिल्कुल सटीक लगे। ये देख लड़के दंग रह गए और उनसे पूछा, भला आप ये कैसे कर लेते हैं? क्या आप कोई निशानेबाज हैं? यह सुनकर स्वामी जी मुस्कुराए और उन्होंने लड़कों से कहा, तुम जो भी कर रहे हो, अपना पूरा दिमाग और तन मन उसी एक काम में लगाओगे तो निश्चित ही अवश्य सफलता मिलेगी। अगर तुम निशाना लगा रहे हो तो तुम्हारा पूरा ध्यान सिर्फ अपने लक्ष्य पर होना चाहिए, तब तुम लक्ष्य से कभी चूकोगे नहीं। अगर तुम पढ़ रहे हो तो सिर्फ पढ़ने के बारे में सोचो। उठो, जागो और तब तक रुको नहीं जब तक मंजिल प्राप्त ना हो जाए। यही वह कथन था जिसने स्वामी विवेकानंद को विश्व विख्यात बना दिया था, और यही वाक्य आज कई लोगों के जीवन का आधार भी बन चुका है। इसमें कोई शक नहीं कि स्वामी जी आज भी करोड़ों युवाओं के आदर्श व्यक्ति हैं, और उन्हें आदर्श मानने वाला व्यक्ति जीवन में जरूर सफल होता है। उनकी हमेशा से ये सोच रही है कि आज के युवा को शारीरिक प्रगति से ज्यादा आंतरिक प्रगति करने की जरूरत है। आज के युवाओं को अलग अलग दिशा में भटकने के बजाय एक ही दिशा में ध्यान केंद्रित करना चाहिए और अंत तक अपने लक्ष्य को प्राप्त करने के लिए प्रयत्न करते रहना चाहिए। युवाओं को अपने प्रत्येक कार्य में अपनी समस्त शक्ति का प्रयोग करना चाहिए। क्या आप युवा हैं? स्वामी विवेकानंद के अनुसार युवा वो है जो अनीति से लड़ता है, जो दुर्गुणों से दूर रहता है, जो काल की चाल को बदल देता है, जिसमें जोश के साथ होश भी हो, जो समस्याओं का समाधान निकालता है, जो बातों का बादशाह नहीं बल्कि करके दिखाता है। स्वामी विवेकानंद के अनुसार व्यक्ति का वास्तविक जन्म लक्ष्य के प्रकटन के साथ ही होता है। वे कहा करते थे, जिसके जीवन में कोई लक्ष्य नहीं, वे तो खेलती गाती हंसती बोलती लाश है। जब व्यक्ति अपने जीवन के एक विशिष्ट लक्ष्य को नहीं पहचान लेता, तब तक तो उसका जीवन व्यर्थ ही है। अपने जीवन में क्या करना है, इसका निर्णय जरूर करना चाहिए। अतः लक्ष्य निर्धारण बहुत जरूरी है और ये जीवन का आधार है। जब कभी कोई युवा उनके पास आकर गीता उपनिषद की बात करता, तो स्वामी जी कहते, गीता के संदेश को समझना चाहते हो तो जाओ मैदान में जाकर फुटबॉल खेलो। मजबूत शरीर और भुजाएं होगी तभी तुम गीता का संदेश समझने के योग्य होगे। स्वामी विवेकानंद स्वयं युवा थे। उन्होंने भारतीय संस्कृति में युवावस्था के आदर्श को हमारे सम्मुख प्रस्तुत किया। केवल 31 वर्ष 5 माह व 22 दिन की अल्पायु में ऐसा पराक्रम दिखाया कि सारा विश्व स्तंभित रह गया। अपने जीवन, प्रेरणा, विचार, साहित्य तथा कर्म से स्वामी जी ने भारत सहित पूरे विश्व को प्रेरित किया। स्वामी विवेकानंद भारतवर्ष और पूरे विश्व में ऐसे युवा चाहते थे जिनका शरीर लोहे के समान हो और मांसपेशियां फौलाद की, जिनके हृदय में सिंह का साहस, मन में श्रद्धा और पवित्रता की आग हो, जिनके मन में ईश्वर पर निष्ठा हो, दीन दुखियों के प्रति करुणा हो। तो आज के इस वीडियो में बस इतना ही। वीडियो पसंद आए तो लाइक और शेयर जरूर करें। ऐसी और भी प्रेरणादायक ज्ञानवर्धक वीडियोस के लिए और हमसे जुड़ने के लिए आप हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर सकते हैं। मिलते हैं अगली एक और ऐसी वीडियो।
So I hope friends you have liked this video also, and thank you so much for watching today's session. Thank you. Cheers.